All right, good vach, everyone, and welcome to the Motzei Shabbos Sichos Haran Shmuz. And tonight we have, as I said, before we turned on the recording, that tonight we have one of the fundamental Breslev Sichas. They're all fundamental, but this one specifically is a very basic sicha, and it has to do with Risk Pasha also. So it's a Baruch Hashem. It's just without further ado, just put it on and see. Okay, this is sicha 48. Siper harbe. Me'inyan godel ha'yira v'ha'kedusha shehaya lo be'yaldusei. Rabbeinu spoke a lot of the great yira and kedusha that he had when he was a child. Shehaya zorez v'kodesh me'od. He was very quick. He was very down to earth, forthwith, and very kodesh. And he said, he said that he would start a few times a day. He started to be a kosher yid. That from now on, he's going to serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And then, the same day, that resolution didn't last that long. And the same day, he fell off it. And he fell into, the urge to eat. And things like that. And he went and he started the same day. From now, I'm going to be a kosher yid. And again he fell. And he fell and he started anew. It used to be a few days, a few times a day. That he had a few beginnings. Every single time he started to serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu from now on. This is a fundamental principle. It's a huge principle. That what? A person should not let himself fall off chas v'shalom because he fell off from a certain avodah, or mitfila b'kavona, or shenafal makol shenafal chas v'shalom, or that he fell to a place where he fell chas v'shalom. No matter what, im kol zeh yechazek es atzmo, a person should strengthen himself b'chol ha'efshar, in everything possible. Yaschil b'chol pa'am chodesh, will start every time anew. Like today is the first time he's coming close to Hashem. Can come upon him, even if it happens, and again. You start and you fall off, and you start and you fall off, and you start and you fall off. Start every time anew. Even a few times over. And now Rabbeinu says this is an incredibly important principle. And without this, it's not possible to be an El Chayid, really. Without that being resolute, that no matter what happens, I'm going to come closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And as long that the person is not strong in his mind, is not resolute, is not committed, that forever he will pull himself to Kodesh Baruch Hu, whatever it is he can. Ben Baaliyah, Ben Berida. If it works out, it doesn't work out. I'm touching the stars, or I'm falling down flat on my face. Chas v'shalom. Afilu tiyah yerida chas v'shalom ech shetiyah. In other words, no matter how deep a person may fall, this includes averos, even chas v'chalila averos chamuros, even very, very severe averos. Shem Yerachem. Aval pichen, a person should always be amitz v'chazak b'daitoi, be totally strong b'daitoi. Limshoich v'lishtokik v'lizgageh tamid alav yisborach. All the time to pull himself and to yearn to Kadosh Baruch Hu. V'litzoik v'lispalel v'lischan alav yisborach tamid, and to shout and to cry and to bear Kadosh Baruch Hu all the time to get close to him. Lasas kol masha yuchol, and do whatever it is he can avoid Hashem b'simcha. Afilu miyayich sheyeh, no matter what happens to you. You know, kol zman she'en lo ischasuk kazot be'emet, as long as a person doesn't have that ischaskus, that resolution in truth, I efshar lo liskol Hashem yisborach be'emet. Without it, it is impossible to really get close to Kodesh Baruch Hu, be'emes. V'kol kach hu tzorech lischazek, and you have to strengthen yourself, to be so resolute, so much. Shu muchach let merutze, the person has to be satisfied. La'avoid Hashem yisborach tamid kol yemei chayav, to serve Kodesh Baruch Hu all the days of his life. Al manat shelo l'kal pras. In other words, there's nothing waiting for me on the other side. Still. Sometimes it seems to a person there's a slim chance, the chance that I will actually get Olam Haba is anywhere between slim and none. It's like, take a look at me. I mean, it's like, come on, let's be realistic here. You know, it's like, you know, vis-a-vis how much you got so far from Hashem Yisborach. Be happy to do everything we need to do, even without Olam Haba. Not only we won't have Olam Haba, but on top of it, you know, before the no Olam Haba, there's going to be, you know, a sojourn to Gehenna Hashem Yirachem. No matter what it's going to be, a person is obligated to do his part. As they say in 12-step programs, to keep his side of the street clean. I got to do what I'm going to do. What Kodesh is going to do, that's his business. A person is obligated to do his, in Avodas Hashem, everything he can do. Lasos v'lachtif is a mitzvah or Torah or tefillah. Just, you know, chap, whatever mitzvah or whatever Torah, whatever tefillah, v'chayotza, you grab it. V'Hashem etov v'nav yaseh. Let the Kodesh Baruch Hu do what he knows to be good. That's what they say about the name, from the name of the Baal Shem Tov. That's how the Kosh Levocho. Once he was broken, he had a Yechlish Sadas, he had a it seemed to him that Bevada he will have no Olam Haba. And he didn't have what to revive himself. He was totally broken. I love HaKadosh Baruch Hu without Olam Haba. Any person, even just a simple person, It is not possible to be a real Erech Yid unless you can withstand the battle of everything that we said before. Even one single day, a person has to be mechazik himself a few times and start every single time brand new. After the day comes, that the ups and downs get a little, a little less dramatic, and the contrast becomes a little bit less. This is like the Breslov Sicha. And nothing is more fundamental and basic than this particular Sicha. It encapsulates the entire Indian of Breslov. When we take a look, this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha was jam-packed. It was jam-packed. Parshas Vayishlach, jam-packed. Yaakov Avinu escapes the trap of Lavan that wanted to rob him, wanted to take his daughters back, wanted to kill his children, the whole thing. And Yaakov Avinu escapes him, and angels come to greet him, and he comes to Eretz Yisrael. Well, welcome to Eretz Yisrael. Is he going to the VIP lounge, whatever it is? Well, the first thing that he meets is his brother Esav, who comes to him with 400 men, with weapons, with swords. We learned in Torah Chaf that we just finished last week that Esav is the custodian of the sword and bloodshed. That's the first Shalom Aleichem. Second, Dinah is being taken by Shechem. And Shimon and Levi go ahead and finish off Shechem. Then Rachel passes away as Binyamin is born. And then we're just stopping for a little while, and we say about the genealogy of Esav, which is the most embarrassing record, literally, in the days of humanity. I mean, you couldn't get lower than that. I guess you could, I don't know, but it's just, you couldn't get lower than that. And you take a look at this. Next week, Yosef is going to be sold by his own brothers to Mitzrayim. Disappears for 22 years. The brothers bring to Yaakov the shirt, the tunic of Yosef, drenched in blood. Says, "Is this? You recognize this? Is this your son's tunic by any chance?" And he's like, you stop and you think how much a person goes through his lifetime. Yaakov Avinu, you take a look and you say, how huge does a person need to be to go through all this in order to establish the nation of Am Yisrael? And as a result of all this, every single morning when we are davening, we're saying, Um, K'Ribbon Shalom have Rachmanis on us. After all, what are we? What are our lives? What is our ability? What is our koyach? What is that? I mean, we're nothing. And then it starts and says, all the great men are absolutely nothing. Like those who with famous names, from Caesar to Stalin to whoever it is, kilahayo, like they never existed. All the wise men of history, I mean, from Socrates to Einstein to whatever it is, kibli mother, like they have nothing, like they don't know anything. The Kola and the Nevonim and all those was the quick, the smart ones, they kibli haskel. They don't have any sense at all. And all the goyim, everybody put together is like dust. It's like dust. And then he says, but we, except for the neshama is going to din v'cheshbon, but we, this is where the children of from Avinu that brought his son as a sacrifice. We are the children of Yitzchak that went on the altar to be sacrificed. And then he says, we are the offspring of Yaakov bincha bechorecha, your firstborn son, sheme'avoscho she'ahavta oisei, from the love that you loved him, and from the happiness that you were happy with him. Karasa Shmo Yisrael v'Yishurun, you called his name Yisrael v'Yishurun. After everything he goes through, how does he go through all this? How's he able to go through whatever he went through? And it's within the very beginning of the parsha. Ibn says that Yaakov Avinu is giving 2 strategy tips to dealing with hardships. The first thing, he says, that he split the people, his people into two camps. Vaya, if Esav comes on one camp and Chas Chalila will hurt them, Vaya Machna Anisha Leplatus, the other one, the left, the camp that escapes, will be spared. That's one Esav. The second Eitzah is when he sends Esav the gift, he says, Verevach tasimu ben eder le'eder, and give a space between one flock and another. When they give the gift to Yaakov Avinu. So Nosson says these are two Eitzahs. The first one is when a person comes to a state of that he has chalukas ha'etzah. He doesn't know what to do. You come to a point that what's going on here? This world looks so chaotic. When La Leino, when there was this attack on the shul in Yerushalayim a couple of years ago, in Givat Shaul. And when you hear it the first time, you get staggered. You're like, what's going on? A person went to shul. I mean, after he walk over there, maybe he didn't feel like waking up in the morning. Maybe he woke up and said, I have to schlep myself to shul. And he did. And he got to shul, and he put on his tefillin, and he put in his talis and tefillin, and he davened. And then come horrid murderers and just kill him in the middle of davening. And for a moment there, you get stunned. And you say, like, what's going on? What is happening to you? What is happening to you? What is it? What's going on? What's happening to you? What's happening to you is you are injected with a dose of apicursis, right then and there. The world suddenly looks chaotic. I mean, it's supposed to be a yid. I'm supposed to start Kodesh Baruch. If I go to shul, go to daven, things are supposed to go. And you go to a situation that a situation, Rabbeinu calls it chalukas ha'etzim. You are of two minds. That suddenly you go, what's going on? You're off your balance. You're caught off balance. And at that particular point in time, you have to grab. The Ibn says you have to grab. Just grab whatever it is that is going to be left. Do whatever good it is. If my mind tells me that it's not supposed to be, beseder, I can actually use this for avodas Hashem. Because of the law, things like this happen that should never happen. When a person gets this verblonget kind of lost feeling, it's not the first time it happened to you. It happens to everybody, usually between the ages of 5 and 7. When suddenly you realize you have this realization that you're not good enough to be accepted on your own merit. You just don't have what it takes. There was a person that around that age, he says that his mother took him in her car, and when she just said the lines that we are moving to a kibbutz. At that moment, innocence died. He realized that his parents are getting divorced, and he's moving with his mother to a kibbutz, and his father took his brother. He didn't say anything. But he was shocked. What? My father doesn't love me? He took my brother? Why not me? I don't want to go to the kibbutz with my mother. I want to go with my father. Well, he doesn't love me. But he didn't say anything. That particular person went, lived his life. At age 17, he wrote a letter to his father. He said, how could you do this to me? How could you take my brother and not me? So his father wrote him back a letter, took a month for a letter to come. It's not an email. That was many years ago. His father said to him, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, that's it. He wanted to live his life totally alone. I mean, yeah, you got married, you had children, whatever it is, but this world is a chaotic place. Nobody loves me, nobody will love me, and just to follow yourself, because I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be loved like that. So what should he have done? Well, he should have said to his mother right then and there in the car, I'm sorry. We're not going to the kibbutz. Let's go back. I demand a meeting between you and my father and me. And sit together, sit with the parents down and say, yo, guys, what's going on? This is not the way to run a Jewish household. I'm sorry. You're supposed to take care of me. You're not doing any inner work between you two. When you start working, what do you mean divorce? What do you mean divorce? Why are you taking my brother instead of me? You can't do it. In 99.99% of the cases, divorce is unjustified. It's a calamity. Yeah, there are certain cases in which it's justified, but 99.99% of the cases, it's not justified because the people refuse to work on themselves. And that person was said, wow, today I can't say these words. You wanted me to say it as as a 7-year-old? No, I used to say it now. Realize that the chaos, the message of chaos is something that I got long, long, long ago. But it's false. It's false. This world is not random. We come into this world in order to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But sometimes you're getting like an off step, like a misstep, and you're off balance. And you're like, oh, well, if that's the case, or maybe at that point in time, grab whatever you can. Because that is a unique opportunity to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yaakov Avinu has this presence of mind. Even chas v'shalom, v'ya machne anisha lapleta. Then the surviving camp, will last. The second thing is v'revach tasimu ben eder le'eder. Ibn Nosson says, put a space between. Says when the thing is that there is a dynamics to life. And when chas v'chalila things happen, difficult things happen, usually they come in bunches. It never rains, but it pours. And the thing is that it creates a certain mental stream that a person can get swept by. And if chas v'chalila he does that, he pulls himself more tzaros. Because when these things happen, they heap one on top of the other. Person gets a feeling of it's always lost. Forget about it. I'm just not going to bother with this. And then more tzaros come. It also says, no, find yourself a revach tasima ben eder le'eder. It says, but tzarich haftali. And in the middle of every problem in the middle, there's a space. There's an oasis. There's a spell where you can breathe. If you don't, like wait for it and grab it when it happens, you just get swept by the stream. You get in this mentality, I'm being deluged, I'm being swept, I'm being taken. No. Wait for that moment of feeling better. It'll come. And when it comes, thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for it. Thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu also for what came before. Baruch Hashem, I can breathe. I don't have a headache. Baruch Hashem, I don't have this. Baruch Hashem, thank you very much. Oh, it's like that. You get more Yeshuas. You get more deliverance until you get out of the problem altogether. These are the strategies of dealing with the hard things to deal. The hardest thing to deal in life. And Rabbeinu says, the thing is that you got to start all over again every single, as we said in the Sicha. You got to start all over again every single day, a few times a day. Even though when you take a look at yourself and you're so like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I really don't know what the heck I'm doing. I mean, like, my davening is not a davening. My learning is not a learning. My mitzvahs, when I finally get around to them, It doesn't matter. And it says, grab what you can. And whatever it is you think about it, start now. Start now. Start now. A few times a day, all over. Just go on in this life, yearning for Kodesh Baruch Hu, even if you're not, if you don't merit, to do anything. You just, okay, so yeah, you can talk nice, you can you say all you make all the right noises. But as they say in Texas, you are all hat and no cattle. You just talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. I mean, to hear you speak, you sound like Lubavitcher Rebbe. And look what you do, you're Al Sharpton. I don't know. It's like ridiculous. Say them. You know something? It's a deal. If all I can do is just talk the talk, even if I can't walk the walk, but I want to. I want to. Rabbeinu says the fact that the Olam of Favrim Kodesh Baruch Hu is because they don't have Yishuv Adas. We learned last Thursday when we finished Torah Chaf that before you get to Eretz Yisrael, Al Yishalel Choyger Kemefatech. That somebody who goes into battle shouldn't speak, high and mighty like somebody who comes back and takes off his weapon and his armor and everything. And he says the Inyan of Eretz Yisrael, that the tzaddik instills in us with his Torah, is that feeling of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens to me at all time. I have absolutely no idea what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's fine. Everyone says, pick up the diamonds. Just pick up the diamonds. If you're going through a battle, remember, if you feel desperate, that means that you're on the right track. Excuse me? Can you say that again? Yes. If you feel despair, that means that you're on the right track. Come again. If you feel despair, that means that you're on the right track. What do you mean? What I mean is that despair is the weapon, the ultimate weapon of the Sichos Haran. He wouldn't use it unless you were on the right track. If you see despair, Kadosh Baruch Hu is right in there. Chop whatever you can. Call a friend. Go take a walk. Take a shower. I don't care what you do. Just break from the place where you are. As Rabbeinu says, if you have a little shtickle dvekus, don't move from where you are. Speak from right there. But if you feel despair, just move. Just make a move. The next moment is going to be different. In other words, it's the same thing of Yaakov Avinu. The Revach Tasimu ben Eder le'Eder. Always keep the eye open for where is equilibrium, where is the sense of relief, where is the sense of I'm in contact with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Don't let yourself be brought down by that. There's a murdic thing that I heard from Arav Yosef. He's the brother of the chief rabbi. He's the son of Arav Avodah Yosef. And he gave an explanation of a very famous Vort of the Vilna Gaon that stunned me. I mean, the explanation that he gave stunned me. What he said was, there's a very famous Vort of the Vilna Gaon that says, every moment that a Jew holds his mouth shut from saying Lashon Hara, he merits light beyond that of any angel or any creation. It's a very famous Vort of the Vilna Gaon. I heard it many, many times. And I always took it as like, okay, that's one more of them good things that await a person who is guarding his tongue. Rav Yosef said something that, like, wow, just opened a whole new world for me. He says, what light is that a person is if he doesn't say Lashon Hara? He says that light is the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's not talking about Olam Haba. He's talking about now. Listen to this. Talk about strategy. He says every single time that you feel like saying Lashon Hara and you don't, this is the moment that the gates of heaven are open to you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right there with you. Ask him for whatever you want. You'll get it. Right then and there. You think, what a gewaltige strategy. But you will see that it's a lot harder to do. Even when you stop saying Lashon Hara, you're still busy with your mind. I really want to say, but I shouldn't say it. I said it. And you missed the moment. The time it holds him back. Baruch Hashem is gewalt. But the answer won't let you just at that time. I'm not going to say it. Let me get married. Let me have children. Let me have parnas. Let this person get married. Like this, have Yeshua. Whatever it is that you need, right then and there. It's how will confuse you. Whatever it is. By the time you get around to it, it's already over. The gates are slammed shut. Don't miss the chance. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. We have such a Rebbe. He said, when somebody gives him a Shalom Aleichem, he already knows everything about him. Reb Nosson, expanded on this, and he said, I know for sure, and I believe, that when somebody comes to Rabbeinu knows everything that neshama went through from the time that it was created, even what it will go through all the way to the end of time. And Reb Nosson says, and that is a small thing by Rabbeinu. It's one of his lesser attributes. But Tzaddik Emes, time doesn't mean anything. He's looking at the root of reality. When he looks at us, he sees the root of every single neshama. It's not that he knows, okay, he still knows, and he knows that, and he also knows that, he also knows this time, and this Gilgul, that Gilgul. It doesn't matter. He sees the whole thing in one shot because he sees you beyond time. The Baruch Nachman says in Biur Likutim, in the 18 principles of Florida Likutim Haran, in principle 13, famous principle 13, out of which was extracted from the 18 Klalim of Florida Likutim Haran. It was put in a different volume because it's too deep for almost everyone. And he said, and Nachman said that there's a danger that people might go out of their minds reading that because they go out of their mental faculties. It's too deep. So in that particular Biolikutim, he says, and in this particular klal, the klal 13, the rule number 13, he says that the point of view of the tzaddik is from above down. It's beyond time. The tzaddik looks at things, and his Torah comes from beyond time. When all time, the past and present and future are one. The Mekabalim explained that the whole union of the different Nevi'im, different prophets, each one comes from a different level. You have Yeshayahu that came from Bria, and Yecheskel that came from Yitzira, and you can see it in the Yeshayahu says, and he says, I came to the chamber of Hashem, and on the throne, Kemara Adam, a vision like an image of a person. And Yecheskel says in the vision of the chariot, Dmus Kemara Adam, and a vision of the likeness of an Adam is on the throne. So by Yeshayahu, it says Dmus Adam. It's a vision of a person, and Yecheskel puts another one, an image of a vision of a person. That means because a person is Atzilus, and a vision of a person is Beria. In other words, that's the man of Atzilus being reflected in through the prism of Beria. And Dmus Kemara Adam, and an image in the likeness of man. In other words, 3 times, this is the image of Adam, the way it's reflected in Beria, the way it's reflected in Asiya, in Yetzirah, the level of Yecheskel. What does it mean, the level of Yetzirah, a prophecy, the level of Bria? What does it mean? What it means is that when the Navi sees something that is coming up, the time shrinks to him according to where he's holding. So if he's holding in a certain level, 100 years is as visible to him as today. When the level is on a higher level, it's 1,000 years is available to him like today. And when you reach the level of Atzilus, Kal V'chomer, if you reach the Yechida, all time stops. Everything condenses it to a single point. And anybody who can see that can see from the beginning of time to the end of time. That was Adam Arishon. He says, Misofa Olam V'ad Sofer, from the beginning of time to the end of time. Everything was one look. It wasn't as able to scan the whole thing. Oh, I see. I still see. No, that's not what it means. It means he saw in the root. He saw everything. What past and present and future are all one. This is the kind of Rebbe that we have. He said so himself. So why did he say all these things about himself? Well, otherwise, how would we know? There's no other way to know. We would never assume that anybody got to this madriga unless he told us. And Rabbeinu made it easier for us. He says, you know something? I'm either or. Either I am a total totally out of my mind, a liar, a cheater, whatever it is, and everything that they say is like, forget about it. This guy should be put in a mental asylum. Or he is exactly what he says he is. He says it's either or. There's no middle. Baruch Hashem. We can see that everybody who come close to Avodas Hashem, everybody that come close to Rabbeinu gets into Avodas Hashem. Gets an injection of cheshek, and you'll find nowhere else this kind of chizuk, this kind of lashonis, as Rabbeinu says in today's Sicha. Let's take a quick look at it just one more time again. And he says, the great year that he had as a kid, he said he would start a few times in one day. From now on, then he would falter, and the one and fall. It's a strength of mind. It's a yishuv adas. It's a presence of mind. What am I here for? We are all so wishy-washy in our relationships, in our parenting, in our all these things. It's like you give up, like we gave up. We were 5 or 7 year old. This is in your relationship, and I don't know, whatever it is. It's just, well, do you want to be married to your wife? Yeah. Well, that's 2 answers. And yes. What does the mean? I don't know. I don't know what you want to hear from me. What does the mean? Well, I'll tell you what the means is that I thought initially that this is what we're going to do. But, and I tried to be close to her and, or to him or whatever. And after a few times, just, I give up. I realize I'm butting my head against the wall. As the same kid, I realize, we're going to the kibbutz. That's it. We're moving to the kibbutz. Over. Same thing with Avodas Hashem. You started, and you fell off it. Are you into Avodas Hashem? Yes. 2 answers, right? And yes. Why? Because I already started a few times, and I already got proof positive that it's not for me. I'm not one of those. I think about, it's like getting married. I thought, getting married, you're going to be in love. It's going to be great. It's going to be this and going to be that. And I found that. All right. This is the same thing when you have kids. You have kids and you're saying, do you want to be a parent of this child? What are you talking about? What do you mean a parent of this child? I'm his parent or her parent. What choices do I have? I'm stuck with him. I'm stuck with her. If you were really honest and you would say this, of course you won't say it. Oh, that's what's else. Just the matter is that you have a schus to be a father of this child. Remember, the schus to be the husband of this woman, or the schus to be the wife of their husband. This is your schus. And love is not that kind of a the violin. That's not love. Love means closeness and acceptance. Because the egg is called shalom bayis, shalom. Shalom means that you take 2 things that are 2 opposites and they can live together. This is what shalom bayis is about. It can only happen if you agree to feel those feelings that, whenever it is that I speak to my wife, everybody outside the house, I'm Mr. Big. I come to my house and I feel like a schlemazel. There I am, no good Nick. Every time, she doesn't have to say anything. She just looks at me and I feel like, oh man, I don't know what to bury myself. A woman feels, whenever I come to my husband, I feel fear. Can't believe that. I'm frozen with fear. It awakens something inside you. Agree to feel it. Find out where it is. Ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Whenever it's with my wife, just when you're with your wife, just accept upon the fact that you feel like a shlemazel. Feel like that not only you never did anything good, you never will do anything good. That's the way you feel when you're with her. It's okay. Okay, I agree to feel that. I'm not looking to feel good. Not, I'm just want to be with you. That's it. Then you go to Kosh Baruch and he says, Rabbanu Salam, where did I bring this for? I was 5. I was 7. Maybe I was 6. Maybe I was 8. Maybe I was 3. When they told me, forget about it. We're moving to the kibbutz. Or anybody who cried is not going to the airport. Things that's like, what are you talking about? Okay, you'll know what you're talking about. When you ask a Kodesh Baruch Hu nicely, with Chaim, just ask him, Kodesh Baruch Hu will give it to you right then and there, especially if you went to sell a Shonara and you didn't. He'll reveal to you immediately. You'll see immediately what it is. Because no matter what age we are, we're all one thing. We are 5 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. Whatever ages you are, you're all those put together into one. They're all alive and well inside you. The only moments that you don't remember are the moments of sanity. Those just passed. All those, the little knots along the way, when you're proven that, again, nothing good will come out of you, or nobody will ever accept you, or whatever it is, those are the ones that you remember. The little light bulbs or whatever, light of darkness, or whatever you want to call it in your life. Accept them and start avodas Hashem, because it doesn't matter what you think about yourself. Rabbeinu says that the simcha, on the simcha alone, Shalas Nigoy, is enough to dance for 80 years. Why? Why is that? Why is that enough, to dance for 80 years? What's so special being born a Jew? The answer is that the world was created for Kiddush Hashem, for the sanctity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be revealed in this world. This is why you exist. To be Mekadosh Shem Shamayim, with good relationships, with Torah that you learn, with strengthening and getting up, from the canvas after being knocked down times and times and times again. And be Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. Being born a Jew means that Kadosh Baruch Hu trusts you with this mission, which is the raison d'etre, that's the reason for being for the entire universe. Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. And that's your job, because Baruch Hu trusts you. You can do it. Just think. Kadosh Baruch Hu has appointed you to the role of being Mekadosh Shem Shamayim in this world, with your behavior, the everyday behavior. I'm not talking about, and this is done through chapping every single thing. Doesn't matter what you think about yourself. Doesn't matter if you're up, you're down, you're left, you're right, whatever it is. Chap, you're doing it. You're Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. Whenever you feel like, man, nothing good will ever come out of me, and you do another mitzvah, and you hold your mouth from saying something which is onos dvarim, cause somebody else pain, especially our spouses, and you do something good, you're Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. Ashreicha, ashreicha, ashreicha. No, so I'm going to wake up tomorrow in time and go to daven like a mensch. I hope so. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes. Baruch Hashem. We'll live in a great time. You know why? Because we're alive. It's not a small thing. I mean, you can win the game if you're not on the pitch. We spent a long time before coming down to this world. And we're going to spend much longer time after we're going out. It's all happening right now. This is the game. You have the ball. The great thing about this ball game is it doesn't matter how many times you drop the ball. As long as you're in the game, as long as you're on the pitch, you're winning. B'ezrat Hashem, this Monday night, we will continue with Sipurim Maisius. And I took some help from Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Bar-Lev. He has a sefer with the parish on Sipurim Maisius, which is based on the sefer of Nissim David Kivak, Shlita. And so we will find our way through the maze of the super complicated story of the cripple, B'ezrat Hashem, on Monday. And Thursday, the first light of Chanukah, B'ezrat Hashem, we will be starting Torah Chaf Aleph, how appropriate. Ba'lo Yischal Pnei HaMenorah. That's Torah Chaf Aleph. Kenan Hara, we're starting this Torah on Thursday. Thank you so very much for everybody for coming. And Mitzvah Hashem, I'll see you all on Monday.